Hello and welcome to a winter edition of Get Ready with Me. This episode, we're just gonna get ready, we're gonna do our makeup, and we're gonna talk tips and tricks that I love to do for winter with my makeup. If you are new here, my name is Shelly with Blind But Blended. I am so glad you are here. And Blind But Blended, that's because I was born with low vision. I am considered to be legally blind, but I am now passionate about makeup. I love makeup. Went my whole life without wearing makeup, barely anything, just the very bare minimum basics. And now I am here sharing my blind tips with you. If you're a beginner, you're probably gonna fall in love with these like blind tutorials too, because I feel like we're all on the same page. Okay, so all that being said, let's get started with this today. Okay, so if you didn't know, I love Seint. I am an artist with Seint. Seint is just kind of a different format of makeup. I stumbled upon it during the time when we were all on lockdown, sitting at home, watching other ladies do their makeup, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I can do that. So Seint is pretty much a system of cream products that we just put in their spaces. We blend them all together and it's all in one palette, and it's totally customizable. So it is customized to your skin tones. So these shades, these are shades that go with my skin tone, okay? So that's the basics. We start with a color match. I have a link, but if you ever have questions, just comment, we chat, we can get you started with your custom palette. So this is my palette that we're going to wear today. Generally speaking, this is pretty much what a palette will look like for me. I've got my face, and then I've got under eye corrector and an eye look inspired by this shirt. Turtleneck, it's winter, it's mid-January. And yeah, I kind of like, it's kind of fun to play with those deeper shades and stuff too. As you can see, I got some more deeper shades going on, but it's all gonna come together beautifully, and I'm going to share my tips with you. This is the Bright Brush, dual-ended. I like to use this brush to color correct under my eyes, and I like to use this color correcting system. These shades are going to correct the undertones that I have going on. So I often get like a lot of like browns, blues, purples, all of the things. And so this method addresses each shade on its own, okay? So these are called demi shades. They're like hyper pigmented. If you tend to be a little more dry in this area, you can use, we have a balm, which is lovely. My daughter actually uses it. The first ingredient in the balm is actually castor oil, okay? So it's all natural. All our products are vegan. But you can always just go ahead and apply this first. My daughter does this, who's 19, and my mom does this. And my mom also uses castor oil. That's something new. I've been using castor oil in the evenings, and I'm really hoping to get rid of this one. I'm tracking it because apparently, side note here, apparently castor oil is considered to be nature's Botox. I can't afford Botox. I don't know that I want Botox, but I tell you, this one drives me nuts. And I'm 43, so it's gonna happen, but it doesn't mean I have to love it. Okay, back to that. Okay, so castor oil the night before, not the day of, or our balm is great. So I did 01 here. So that's a really light shade of orange. It's the lightest shade because, well, I am pale, and it's going to deal with the blues. So I'm actually just kind of slapping it on, and I'm going to come back and blend it after. Okay, so we've got that. Then I like to go into this more reddish one, and this has red and orange tones, and it works really beautifully for like the greeny blue. See? Especially on that little ledge area there. Okay, and you might be thinking like, this is a lot. Okay, fair enough. I could just use like a concealer, but this is so much more effective, and I'm just doing each eye as it needs it, okay? And we have These are sold separately, or you can just get like the Wide Awake set, which is gonna deal with any issues you have under your eyes. And as we age and depending on our sleep, things change. So maybe it takes a little more time, but for somebody like me who has a lot going on under my eyes, I prefer this method. And for the longest time, I just used like a yellow, because the yellow does deal with like purples and blues and stuff, but like this is so much better. And I should just share, I use this. This is a YO1, yellow orange one, and I just use this to brush it on. So already it's looking better, but I do want to let it rest for a minute so that it'll blend even better. Okay, now that's being said, let's move on. So we're actually going to continue a little bit with color correcting. So like now that my tan is gone, like I'm paled out, right? But I still have like age spots. I don't know if you can see them. Now, if I could see them really well, I would color correct them with some of our demi shades, but I can't see them well. So I love this method. This is kind of what we call the camo method, and it's brilliant. So this is what I do. I'm gonna show you. Okay, this here is my winter shade right now. This is the one that matches my skin tone, goes all over. This is pretty light. This is called Aura. This here, this is my summer shade. This is called Athens. So in the winter, I wear this. In the summer, I wear this. In the fall, I dip into both. And in the spring, I dip into both. So if you're using one shade all year, there's probably a part of the year that's just not working, okay? So we definitely like to have two shades. But the beautiful thing is, in the winter, your summer shade can really work well as a color corrector, just dealing with certain areas. So I'm going to show you. I like to use this brush. This is the shape brush. It is super fluffy, so it is going to give me more of a light, natural application, which is what I like 90% of the time. So I'm just going to take that fluffy end. I'm going to dip it into Athens, and I'm going to pounce it in the areas that I know I have more age spots, okay? So I am just I'm just color correcting, and I'm pouncing, pushing it in, because I do want a little more coverage. If I wanted less, I would kind of like swipe and it would get more smeared, I guess, or spread out, okay? So this is generally, for me, my main area. If you have redness, you know, we would look at that. Different shade, I don't have redness. For me, my main thing is always the age spots, okay? All right, so we've done that. So now I'm going to just pounce in to my main shade. This is called Aura, and that I'm just gonna go all over. And I don't even mind going over what I just did, that's fine, okay? You always want to bring it down your neck. I mean, if I didn't have a turtleneck on, we would definitely be wanting to do that for sure. Okay, again, this main shade, this is called my main shade, my winter main shade, I guess. And this is going to even out skin tones. One could call this like your main foundation, I guess. That would be what it would equate to. Get your nose. Go ahead, you can even do under the eyes. If I didn't use demi, I would just go right under the eyes with that. Okay, that's sorry, wrong brush. Okay, so I'm just going to, now that that's warmed up on my face a bit, I'm just going to give that a quick blend. And then just remember, I can't actually see. So I am doing a lot of this by muscle memory and placement. And that's why I love Seint, is because once you understand where it goes and where it's placed, you're good to go. And you overblend, who cares? I always overblend. When in doubt, blend it out, my friends. Okay. So we have color corrected. We have evened out the skin tone. I don't look like I got tons of makeup on. I still look like me, and that's what I like. It's still natural, but I'm more even. This is High Tide. It is a cream bronzer. I'm actually gonna pop it out, and I really love it. I use 3 different cream bronzers, okay? Depends on my mood, depends on my outfit. This is next to, we have one lighter. This one's really lovely, and my daughter's pale. Like, she's more pale than me, and this is a lovely shade on her. So I'm gonna take, I switched up the brush. I could have used the same one, but I don't want to. That's the benefit of having all the brushes. Okay, this is a lovely brush. I mean, if you're gonna use a makeup, this is definitely one you wanna have. I'm just gonna swirl, super light. I don't want tons, okay? It's winter, but I love the glow. And this brush is made to just pick up the bronzer in all the right spaces, and then it just places it. Don't forget your neck. It places it exactly where you want it, where the sun's gonna hit. So you got the high points of your forehead, the high points of your cheekbone. Just swirl it. Honestly, you can't really screw this up. Tip of your chin, tip of your nose, done. You know, it took me a long time to actually get on the bronzer bandwagon. Now I'm on it. Okay, so we've got our main foundations here. We did those, we did bronzer. Let's do a brightening highlight. So that technically is about 2 shades lighter than your main shade. And I just love this end for this. This is just incredible. Okay, so it goes in between those 2 eyebrows above the top of the nose. I like to say it's like filling in the top of the apple tree. You just kind of pat it in there, fill it in, and then bring it down the trunk of the tree, okay? I know that sounds silly, but when you have low vision, all the descriptive stuff really helps. Okay, then we do the Cupid's bow, the chin. I want you to tap in and just put a little bit into that inner corner. Again, if you don't have a lot going under your eyes, this could easily be a great way to color correct and conceal under your eyes. And this brush is so lovely. I mean, being that I'm 43, I don't want a ton of cakey product down there. So I just love how this brush applies it. So light and fluffy. All right, then outer corner of the eye, up to the hairline. I like to take a little bit and go right on to my eyelid, just a tap, the slightest amount. We're gonna blend that in. This is going to correct, and it's also gonna work as a great primer for our eyeshadow. Okay, I'm gonna grab a different brush, and I'm gonna add contour. I like to contour last so I don't lose it in the whole process. I just like to grab this brush, I squeeze it. I could use the other brush, but I just tap it in to my contour with the squeezed end, and I hug my cheekbone. I just hug it. I just stop kind of right at the outer corner of the eye there. I don't add a ton, so that's the really nice thing about the cream makeup, is it is buildable, and you can just less or you can add more. Like, it's really entirely up to you, okay? So I like to do the cheeks. I just blend it up, just flicking it up. We don't want to flick it. We don't want to bring it down. We want to go up. All right, because we are creating a facelift. We do not want to be dragging anything down. So I contour there. I contour under my lip, which just helps to give a bit of a natural pout. Now, if you're somebody with jowls, double chin, you can go along your chin, brush it down. You want to minimize the look of a larger forehead, go ahead, do like a rainbow, brush it up towards your hairline. Okay, again, this is all about you. This is about your face, what you like, what you want to accentuate, and maybe what you want to minimize, okay? And I take a little bit and I just go along the bridge of my nose. I just do a small amount. I already have like a fairly narrow face and nose, so for me, I definitely keep the contour a little lighter. And I mean, to be honest, sometimes I don't even know if you can see it, because I can't see it sometimes. That's okay. That's okay, because if I wanted it to be darker, I would know how to do it and I would go with it. I'm gonna go back to this blush and bronzer brush. I love this side, and we are going to use Saffron today, and then I'm gonna top it with Love Spell, this gorgeous brownie, bronzy, goldy, purpley shade. I don't really know, but it's still pretty. So I'm just going to take this. I did this look yesterday and I loved it. So that's why I'm doing it today. And that's why this is looking like that. All right, so I'm just going to give it a couple taps. And we are just going on top of that cheekbone. We are following up, okay? Again, we are going upwards. Think facelift. Always going up. Okay, so now let's go in and take Love Spell, which is a gloss. So it really complements the satin saffron nicely because this is gonna add that bit of shine and glow. Shine and glow, it keeps us looking young and it's just fun. So why not, right? Okay, so I'm just patting it in there, blending it. Now when I blend, I do it all because I can't really see. So I do some swirls, I go up because I don't want any harsh lines. I go down, and I'm sorry if it always seems like I'm blending a lot, but when in doubt, blend it out. That's what I've learned. So that's what I go by. Okay. Let's set. We're gonna set under our eyes. I don't want shiny under my eyes because then 1 minute, I don't wanna, like, I'm old, I'm getting old. So I don't wanna draw attention to like under there. So we brightened it. So now I'm going to go in with a setting powder. So I have, like, just use whatever you have. I just have the Seint setting powder, and you can use a firm brush, or I literally just use my finger. Like, I'm kind of not a complicated kind of guy, girl. Before I started using Seint, I had no idea what setting powder was. I just didn't know any of these things. So, I don't know. In a lot of ways, I still like to keep things simple and not complicated. So I did my eyelid, which is a great way to set for the eyeshadow, and then I'm just patting it under the eye there just to take away that shine. But I mean, look at it. We've got such good coverage with that demi. It really is freaking fabulous. Okay, let's do the last step on the face, which is the illuminator, my favorite step. This is Nova. Again, this is actually one of our newer ones, came out in the fall. And I just like to apply it with my finger. And I go right above my cheekbone, kind of right above where I put the blush. If you think of your cheekbone as having 3 sides, a bottom, a front, and a top, you're kind of gonna hit the top end, okay? The cheek shade's gonna kind of go more on the front, and then the contour is going to hug the bottom. Hope that makes sense. Okay, I like to go down the bridge of my nose with the illuminator. I like to do the Cupid's bow. I usually do this after, but I think I can do it now. I just put a little bit on my fingers, and then I like to go right under my eyebrows. So this is just going to brighten and attract light where we want it. Okay, and this is what's so beautiful about Seint. Sorry, looking for a brush. This is what is so great about Seint is we are not a flat face. We don't have flat faces. So by putting our makeup in the right places, we are adding dimension. And I said it before, I will say it again. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, so we did our face. That was this. This was going on here. So I'm super happy with that. So let's move on to finish this look. Let's move on to the eye look here. We've got a really great base with the brightening highlight and then the powder. We've done the color correcting. Let's go on to this shade here. This is Bubba. It's a go-to. Everybody can use Bubba. It's a beautiful mid-tone brown and it's a warmer shade. Okay, so I'm gonna use the fluffy end of my brush and I'm just going to do a couple swirls and tap. I'm going to start at where like the highest point of my eyebrow is. Get some of that product off just by swirling the brush a bit, and then I'm going to go window wiper, like kind of like a rainbow. I'm going to go in the crease and then up I have a hooded eye and deep set eyes. So I go up higher, otherwise you will not see the shades. Okay, so we're just going to blend that in. As you can see, it's nothing crazy. It's just pretty, it's light, okay? What you do to one side, do to the other. Especially if you have the low vision, it really helps to pay attention to how many times you swirl and those things so that you're confident in how much product you've used on either side. All right, so let's move into Sedona. It's a new shade. This is just a really pretty warm brown. I don't know, it kind of reminds me a bit of like spicy stuff. I don't know. I made banana bread today. Kind of what reminds me of the spices that I put in. Okay, so I'm gonna use this small end. I'm gonna just give it a double tap. And then I'm going to do the outer corner triangle type motion. And I'm just going to go back and forth like a sideways V or a Pac-Man mouth, what have you. Then I'm going to flip to the fluffy end and blend that in. Give that a good blend. I'm gonna do a tap in the Sedona again, and I'm just going to bring it under the bottom lash line there. Okay, so let's do the other side again. I did 2 taps on the right, so I need to do 2 taps on the left. You don't need vision to put on your eyeshadow, okay? And as always, when in doubt, blend it out. That's fine. You will be okay. All right, let's do, what did I do? Well, let's just say I did 2. So I don't remember. Okay. Okay, so we've got 2 shades there. Now let's go in with our finger into hot chocolate. How pretty. We've got hot chocolate and drift. So hot chocolate kind of is a shimmer that looks like hot chocolate with a little bit of like the red tones in there. I really like it. Again, like the whole look here today is inspired by this shirt. It's feeling all warm and wintry. I'm using my middle finger to apply it to the center of my lid. I'm just patting it on. I just did a good couple taps in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna use my pinky in the drift, which is pale gold. I'm going to pat that into the inner corner for brightness. Give it a quick blend so that I know it's all blended together. And how pretty is that? Okay, so we need to do mascara and we need to do our lips. So let's do the lips and then we finish off with mascara. So you could totally line your lips with a lip liner. You could use your contour. I think today I'm just going to take a bit of that saffron on my finger. It's kind of like more of a stain. Okay, and pat it on. And then I really like to top a satin with a gloss. So I'm going to go over top with Love Spell, just like I did on the cheeks. This is pretty, right? It's easy. Okay, let's get the mascara on, and then got dirty fingers here, and then we will see what the final look looks like. Okay, I wasn't gonna do this on camera, but I should show you how I like to put on mascara. So I get a mirror. This one is double-sided, has a bigger and a smaller end, and I like to kind of hold it below so that I'm looking down, okay? So currently, this is what I've been up to with mascara. I use like a volumizing. This is Better Than Sex. I don't know who made it, and I can't see it. Oh, I think it's Too Faced. Too Faced Better Than Sex. Anyways, so I've been doing a layer of this, and then I've been finishing it off with this Sky High Is this by Maybelline? I don't know. I'll look after. Yeah, Maybelline Sky High Mascara, which adds like the tubing lengthening, and then the combination of them I really like. So I will just do one eye, and I won't bore you with both, but if you're curious how I do it, you know, we kind of, all us blind girls, I think, have our different ways, but for me, this is quite effective. So I have it on the enlarged mirror, and I just look down. Okay, so I've done that side. This is the Sky High. I think I always want to call it Mile High, but I believe it's called Sky High. And I just go right over top. Okay, I don't even think I made a mess with the mascara on camera. Woo! All right, so another great thing you can do, setting spray is also a great way to add moisture. So I could have sprayed this on my whole face before I applied my makeup. You could spray it on the brush. We are going to apply it now after. You could spray it right on your face, but I'm always really inaccurate with that. So I think I'm actually just going to spray it, like you could spray it on firm brush, a light brush, a sponge. What are those sponges called? Anyways, I'm just gonna put it on the fluffy end, and well, that's super wet. Press it in, and it smells lovely. And it is just going to set the makeup. It's gonna add moisture again, which is really nice. And if you're an oily girl, you know, setting spray and vanilla dust or setting powder is going to be your best friend, especially in those areas that you might touch. That's it. That's my winter look with my one palette makeup system. Again, if you have questions, let me know. If you would like to start with yours, let me know. Or if you'd like to learn anything else, let me know, because that's what I'm here for. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.